After a bit of heavy excavation, it appears that our resident mechanic needs us to help her with a little project she cooked up while I try to plug holes in an almost sinking ship. You can like, subscribe, and comment about which waifu you think is mid. Logan Paul.
Is that you, Ultima? What do you want?
Your soul is tainted with worthless human will, yet your thirst for power remains undiminished. With every sip you take, you grow in strength, and soon you shall achieve perfection.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will accept us, Mythos. It is inevitable. You were created for this purpose, and you shall serve it.
Never!
Spot. Miles made him with a bagel.
Fight it, Clive! Don't let him in!
Consciousness. We see now. Human will is so insubstantial it cannot exist in isolation. You mitigate its weakness by interweaving it with your consciousness. We believed we had merely to purge you of your will to claim our vessel. It appears we first have to sever every thread of the consciousness that supports it. No matter. The time to build a new world is not yet upon us. We will contemplate.
What kind of world does you want to build? Feather.
Thank you, Joshua.
One can no more command the power of ether by drowning in its flood than one can constrain the tides by standing in the sea. I had thought Hugo wiser than this, but it seems his head was full of rocks after all.
I mean, that wasn't
Titan
clear.
was strong.
Your Majesty,
But Mythos is stronger. For 5 years, that man lived only for revenge. Clinging fast to a fiction, even as it swept him into the abyss. One cannot change one's nature through force of will alone. Only the Almighty can do that.
It's your shtick.
Hugo Kupka, the man who gave his life for a woman's head. A fool like all the rest.
That the death of a mother crystal should be so beautiful.
Why don't you break yours? Ah, it should say ground to dust.
Some medicine, my lord?
Much better.
I have salves, potions, anything you need.
Stop bothering me, urchin, or you'll feel the back of my hand.
You must consider your health, my prince. If a show of force is needed to keep the Dalmex at bay, you may trust in your dragoons. I beg you to call on Bahamut only as a last resort. His strength comes at too great a cost.
The Empire agreed to an armistice with the Republic, and yet the Emperor still plots its ruin. For now, the Dalmex suspect nothing, and as long as I can hold their gaze, war need not be inevitable. But more than that, Bahamut is the champion of the Empire. When our people look to the heavens, the sight of him gives them hope.
So, we broke 3 crystals. Do we have 2 more?
Forgive me, Terence. Would that you were my master. But alas.
I will always be your loyal servant.
I was so busy counting, I didn't even notice.
Should the Council's brazen maneuvering prompt the Republic to tear up their own treaty and launch a new assault, our soldiers would advance to meet them, cutting across the Central Isles, but not in time to prevent their forces from breaching the southern defenses and storming Twinside. And so the capital would become a battlefield. Thousands of innocents would die. I cannot allow that to happen.
There is one small mercy, at least. You will not be forced to do battle with Titan.
Would that I could avoid doing battle at all.
1,000 pardons, Your Highness.
What is it?
Oops. If the king's gonna be next.
Olivier has been made Emperor. What is the meaning of this? My father's orders. What were they? Quickly!
Yes, Your Highness. His Radiance requests that Your Highness maintain position here and...
Ah!
Get out of here, man. You don't want to be around for this.
Terence,
Yes, my prince.
I must go to the palace.
I'll ready your steed.
What is it now?
Hey.
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness.
I know you.
At ease.
We stand in the presence of the Phoenix. You wouldn't want to get your fingers burned.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. Though I admit, I did not expect such a distinguished guest.
Hey, how you doing, potato?
How many years has it been since the Remembrance ceremony? 20?
Good with how.
I
Sorry.
thought you long dead.
How you doing, man?
Do I address a ghost?
Many have told me that I look like one. But no. I'm alive. Just. Prince Dion of the House Lesage, I have a tale to tell you.
Of the future. I'm a time traveler, believe me. Alright, how many looking at? So we broke the crystal here. That leaves us 1, 2. Yeah, just 2 left. The hideaway. Okay. That was an interesting frame rate. Didn't imagine that, right?
I'd better give Otto the good news.
Borgel is running at like 40 frames per sec. Upward. A march. Run like the wind.
We're seeing troops amassing at every border crossing.
Yeah.
Clive, you're back. I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
That split him in half.
Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you right now.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Wouldn't dream of it. Otto. Any word on the Royalist movement since I've been away? Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian. Thank you. I will.
That one lady took your ear off yet. I can't remember her name anymore.
Ah, the conquering hero returns. And
they
with
made?
hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up 1 or 2.
Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident Physica suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, he took them to his grave. As did his men. Slaughtered by the Orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in Storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus?
No.
One can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map?
The map of the galaxy would be better.
The kingdom of Waloed claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War of Independence in 849. the Battle of the Twin Realms in 865, the Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of ash. Yet warlike Waloed shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Waloed?
Also
It
trying
can
to take out
hardly
the
be
Mother
for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waloed Standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot?
Huh.
In summary, I know not to what end the Royalist betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oui,
the
oui.
wounds he left that night are still raw. Especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider it the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
There's some crazy people nowadays. Who knows what's going through their heads? Forward. Oh, please. Good man. Have words.
Ah, Clive. Have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Frick it!
Oh my. Can it really be true?
Look,
Yeah.
he's crying. He is the big baby.
Yeah, that's kids
And
for
with
you.
good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
Heck yeah. No, school! No, school!
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, Ultima came to me. I need to know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, no. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him. With my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Then we need a Ryu.
The Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Not allowed to die until you know. That works. Wait.
Ah, Clive. A moment, if I may. You'll be pleased to hear that, and while my collection is still far from, of course, for which generosity, I have a few new notes that might interest you. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. I have quite the find for you today.
You don't say. Holy crap. What's this? So it just tells you about crap.
You wish to study the tomes? Did you learn everything you needed?
Got it. I understand. Now nothing shall stop me.
Well, someone looks pleased with himself. It's true what I'm hearing, then.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
Oh, I just thought you saw me.
No more looking over our shoulders, then. Good. Start to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though.
I never did find out how one crystal name will be.
Blackthorn, do you have a moment?
What is it? I'm busy.
I wanted to tell you that Hugo Kupka is dead.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to hear those words. This is it then. A new beginning under a new Cid.
Then Owen's gonna show up and he's gonna cause some problems.
Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
Crystal too? You're joking.
It's no joke.
Did 2 jabs in 1.
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips.
Alright, Otto. What you got for me?
Seeing troops amassing at every border crossing.
Cookie while you
You've
talk.
barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
Ready for the blood.
So, the Professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though. Everyone was glad to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing. Not least of all Cid. You should tell him.
You're right. I should. And I will.
Dave on board?
When you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going out
Oh, yeah, it is
hammer and
Mid.
tongs down in that workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well. I'll suggest it.
Remember her, she was mid because mid. She's the most.
I think Mid might need some help.
If I don't come up with something soon. All right, Clive. What do you want?
I'm going to
Visiting your
visit
dance
Sid,
grave.
and I thought you might like to come with me.
Sorry, I'm too busy for all that right now. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal...
Displacement stack. Here.
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen. The Enterprise.
Okay.
Me and my dad designed it together. Where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through the water, ours is fitted with mithril engines. And those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood, and more heat than all the hells put together. Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard in Canva. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up over at the shipyard. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is.
3 years later.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Good old Clive. I were hoping you'd say that. First
This
things
is why you're
first,
mid.
I need some parts meching. The stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here,
Sugar,
that
spice, and
channels
everything
hot
nice.
vapors away from the engine. The helm over the top, that disperses all that heat into the air. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the ship from going up in flames.
A full suit of armor, then. Probably best to take it one piece at a time.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. Everything else fits onto it. I've got the designs and the list of materials here. Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what to do.
Like
Carly, I'm just running errands.
Luckily, you don't need to.